Welcome back to lesson 4. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about all the wonderful things you can use for your tutoring for free. So first I want to start with some basic things a lot of us have spent money on or believe we need to have in order to start a business. And I want to talk about some alternatives. So instead of paying for Microsoft Office, and that's PowerPoint, Word, Excel, if you are buying a new computer or upgrading your computer, just use Google Docs, use Google Drive, or LibreOffice. LibreOffice is an open source office software, office suite. It has all of the basic functions of Microsoft Office. It has a word processor, it has a spreadsheet, it has a presentation tool, and it's all available for free from LibreOffice.org. Instead of paying for Smart Notebook, which is the software designed to run on a smartboard, which I do use and I do like, instead of paying for that, use Google Jamboard or any of the other free online whiteboards. It doesn't have quite as many features as Smart Notebook, but it gives you the functionality of being able to move things around on the screen, draw on things. And if that's the function you're looking for, then Google Jamboard is going to work very well for that. Instead of paying for a wordwall.net subscription, so you can create your own word-based or decodable activities, sorts, and whack-a-mole, and all their games, just search for free wordwall games. Lots of teachers, including lots of Wharton Gillingham and Wilson and Barton teachers, have created games already that are available if you search for community resources, and you get the same user experience. The only difference is you can't edit the word list or the concept that was used. So it may almost but not quite fit what you're teaching. You could always help the student and say, oh, we didn't do that one, we're going to skip that one. Or you can keep searching. There are lots of different combinations of skills you could practice for free. Instead of subscribing to book widgets or boom cards, check out Flippity, Quizlet, WordWall, again, like I mentioned. These are free tools that are going to give you flashcards and some of the same card study functionality that you get from these paid tools. If you're looking for decodable books, instead of paying for a set, check out your public library. Some of them have some decodable books. A lot of it is trade books, so a lot of them are leveled. Check out Flyleaf Publishing. They have been offering a lot of their books for free online, and they may continue to do that. Core Knowledge Language Arts is a curriculum, a comprehensive reading curriculum, and all of their materials are available for free online. They have some skills units that include some very high quality decodable readers. They're leveled by grade level. But the first grade one sort of corresponds with my Wharton Gillingham level 1. So closed syllables, some high frequency words, and my students sort of read those as their fluency reading component of each lesson. As you look for free resources online, make sure that you understand the copyright and the terms of use for anything you find online. Just a word of warning, I think coming from a background of teaching in a school and working in a nonprofit setting, schools often make mistakes with copyrighted materials, and teachers are very willing to share and copy materials that they have. But especially as a business owner now, make sure that you understand the rights that you have to the material you're using and what responsibilities you have as far as whether you can share things online, share things via email, and make sure that you are doing the right thing as it relates to copyrighted materials. As you are creating materials and looking for things, don't feel like you need to totally duplicate your in-person lesson. That can be costly and also not necessarily the best thing for your student. Think about the purpose and not the form of each lesson activity. So if there's something that you always do on index cards, that doesn't mean that to do this well online, you need some kind of digital index cards. There are other ways to present the material that may be better suited to an online format and may be free. So one thing is that you can do if you have a lot of paper materials is set up a phone or a tablet as a document camera. You need to find some kind of way to suspend it over your work surface so that it will shine down on the papers you're showing. But you can do that with things you find around the house and make a document camera setup for no cost that will let you continue to use materials you already have if you do want to duplicate some of your in-person activities. You can also scan pictures of game boards that you have and repurpose them, or you can find new online game boards and create different games that way. Think about what your favorite activities are that you teach, your favorite games that you like to play, or the lessons that your students always find super engaging, and the things that you want to preserve as an online tutor. This is also an opportunity to think about the parts of your lesson or the concepts that you teach that you kind of end up dreading because that part of the lesson sometimes falls flat or the materials make a mess or it takes a long time to prep. This is your opportunity to reinvent those parts of the lesson that you feel you struggle or you feel don't totally meet your students' needs and create something that's going to work even better online. So while moving online is an opportunity to reinvent yourself, to bring in some new activities that are going to liven up your lessons, one great way to do things for free is to use what you have. So that could mean using your paper materials under a document camera or getting a free app like Tiny Scanner and taking pictures of paper materials and uploading them to your computer so you can share them on the screen. You can also use the snipping tool or the screenshot tool on your computer to turn cards and word sorts into movable objects in a slide. That can be time consuming, but where the paper-based alternative would be printing copies and cutting them up and having students physically manipulate them. This is something that if it's an activity you use, you could create it once digitally and then make copies for your students. So you may be able to use something like that you already have. And then finally, if you have materials you've bought from Teachers Pay Teachers already, you can display them on the screen using Kami, which is a PDF editing tool, or Teachers Pay Teachers is rolling out their own digital tool, and some sellers are participating in it, so you can see if the materials you have work with that. There are a ton of free resources online for teaching literacy, especially as distance learning has become more the norm in a lot of districts. The University of Florida Literacy Institute has an incredible virtual learning resources hub. It's all for free. There are letter tiles, there are blending activities, there are decodable word lists and sentences, lots of materials that you and your students can use together, and it all runs right in your browser. As I mentioned before, Flyleaf Publishing has made available a lot of their decodable texts online. Your local library likely has a whole collection of ebooks. Mine subscribes to Overdrive, which is one of the major ebook lending companies, sources. And you can download books that you can read on your screen, or you can download them to the Kindle app. There are word wall activities you can access for free online. Flippity.net, you can find and create games using your decodable words. ABC is a fun site with learning games for younger children. So is PBS Kids. The M.A. Rooney Foundation has a lot of Orton Gillingham training materials, including card decks, things that you can download, prepare for teaching. And as I mentioned before, Core Knowledge Language Arts, their skills units in their language arts curriculum are a wonderful source of decodable text. So those are all different options for teaching online for free. At some point, there may be some specialized resources that you choose to spend money on, but the good news is you could get started with these basic things without any additional cost and teach a pretty good, pretty comprehensive literacy lesson. So take the time to check out all these free resources. Think about what you could plug into your list of tools that you're going to use from way back in Module 2. And you should be, at this point, putting together a decent skeleton of a lesson, deciding on the tools that you're going to use. Knowing that this list of options is out there doesn't do you any good if you get bogged down in it and if you never get comfortable with any of the tools. So pick one or two tools for each area of your lesson, get comfortable with them, save those links to your computer, and start to make those your go-to. You'll learn from doing that what things work well for you and what things are not as comfortable. And that will help when you do decide to invest in some more resources. You'll be an educated shopper. You'll know more about what you're looking for. So, is this feeling a little more affordable now that you know you don't have to pay for all these resources at once? I hope that was helpful. And we'll talk next about meeting the requirements of the law.